So I've got a new plaything here. It's a new watch. It's the Sense watch from Epson. It's a GPS watch. So you can do a lot of stuff with this watch apparently. Gives you most of the stuff that GPS watches do. It's got something that I haven't had on my other watch, which is a stride sensor. It's supposed to tell me how many steps per minute I'm taking. So maybe I'll use it and see how I'm doing. And I don't like that it uses Windows software. So that's kind of a bummer. A lot of these GPS watches, like the Garmin I had, required you to use these latest Windows software, and I'm not going to pay that money just to use some crappy software. Anyway, you can also use it with your iPhone or your Android phone, or your Mac OS software. So maybe I'll be able to use it because it uses Bluetooth. I might be able to connect to it and see if I get it to work. I had problems with the Garmin I had because it used its own particular dongle. So here's the Garmin, and that was a big pain because I wasn't able to download the data and look at it. So maybe I'll be able to do it with this watch. And it has apparently 30-hour battery life, so that's enough. For most ultras, they have less than 30-hour cutoffs, but some of them have longer cutoffs, so maybe you would need to recharge it on the fly. You're going to be doing more than 30 hours, and most likely you're not going to get the full 30 hours. They usually report a higher time, especially using the backlight during the night to see. And I'd guess maybe you get 24, 25 hours realistically, but I don't know if I'm going to go on that long of a run to try it out. But definitely it's going to be more in the Garmin. Garmin I only get maybe 6 to 7 hours. I have to charge it on the fly almost every ultra. That was kind of a pain. So I haven't tried it yet, but just opened up the box. Just got it. In fact, they delivered it on Easter Sunday. Isn't that amazing? And I got $25 off on this thing with a little coupon. So I guess I recommend it for the price that I got it at, but I haven't tried it, so I'm assuming it's good. I got the one without the heart rate monitor because that one was like $100, and they didn't have it on Amazon in the color. They only had one particular violet color wristband, and I guess I wanted the black one, but I guess I could use the violet one anyway. But $100, a little higher than what I wanted to pay. This one I got for about $44, so pretty good price. But I have to use a heart rate strap, or I have to use my other heart rate monitor with this watch if I want to take a look at my heart rate. It's not a big deal. And I can also use my Garmin for heart rate. Just put it on heart rate mode and have that on one wrist and this on the other wrist, and that will work fine. This one does also have a heart rate ability, but you have to use a strap. I already have a strap, so if I want I could also do that. But then it's going to drain more battery, obviously. So you have to decide how you want to do it. So if you're going to be charging this on the fly, you got to carry this bulky charging connector, which uses USB power, and that's a little bit of a pain. I thought maybe they might have had just a micro USB connector to the edge of the watch. That would have been a lot better, in my opinion. More convenient. You could charge it on the fly while you have it on your wrist. But anyway, hopefully it's got long enough battery life that I don't need to charge it on the fly, because this is a real bulky connector, and so I'm not happy about that. And the watch comes uncharged. It's at 0%, so I've got it plugged in, and I see the little battery indicator pulsing, so it may take a long time to charge. Other thing that comes with the watch, obviously, are instructions, guide in different languages, and your quick start guide in English, and then some other junk. So it looks like it charges really fast. It's already at 40%. Charges a lot faster than my Garmin 405CX, so that's good. I looked through the quick start guide. It didn't have information on looking at the stride length or stride rate. It didn't have information on viewing elevation gain, because that's one thing my Garmin didn't have, or actually two things my Garmin didn't have. Couldn't show you the stride rate or stride length, and it couldn't show you elevation while you were in user mode. In other words, you'd have to upload the data to see your elevation. With this, you're supposed to be able to see elevation gain while you're using the watch in user mode. So I upgraded my Epson 510 watch to this SF-810 watch, and this is the charger and cradle, really bulky, just like the 510, and this has basically the same data, but it also allows you to see the altitude gain on the display. So if I take it out of here, there you see it's going to find the satellites, and it's usually pretty fast. You can also go to indoor mode. But anyway, it's kind of a bit disappointing because I found out that this is not accurate up on the trails, and so I'm going to be returning it and upgrading to a different brand, unfortunately, because I kind of liked the price that this watch was at, so I got it on sale. And well, wow, it's taken a while to locate it. Outdoors, I usually would have found it already, but let's see if we stop here. Indoor. So anyway, there we are. Here you see it's got this little heart rate optical sensor. You can see the green light going there. It's going to measure your heart rate from your wrist. Now, sometimes it would give no reading. Sometimes it would give an inaccurate reading. But then, you know, when it did work, you got an accurate reading, you know, within a few beats per minute of what some other heart rate monitor might give you with a strap. And here you got the different display settings. You can have your choice of what you want it to display. I was showing distance, pace, miles per minute, and then it gives you some different split times. Let's see, here we go. Total ascents, the altitude, the total descent, and heart rate, beats per minute, and a maximum heart rate, distance, pace, and then I guess the split, heart rate, the pitch, which is actually the cadence, which is kind of useful. It has a cadence sensor, and stride length. I wasn't really looking at stride length, but I guess if you upload the data, that might be useful. Now I haven't tried uploading the data, so I actually don't know if I'm going to actually get any data from this watch, but I'm going to be returning it. Doesn't really matter. Now, I went on a 14-mile trail run that I know is 14 miles, and this thing said it was about 13.4, so it was quite far off. So that's not really acceptable. But if that's acceptable for you, then you know this is a pretty good watch. It gives you heart rate on the wrist, and cadence and stride length, and of course your distance and altitude and all that kind of stuff. And it also shows you altitude gain. Now, if you don't really need the altitude gain, then you know I got this watch on sale, which is the 510, and this one is actually pretty nice, you know, for what it was. I think I got it maybe after the discount coupon that I used, it was maybe $42 with shipping. So that's a real good price for a new, unrefurbished GPS watch. And it probably does show you the altitude gain if you upload the data and look at it, but it doesn't show you on the display, so that's not one of the options you can have it displayed. But aside from altitude gain and altitude descent, this watch is pretty good. Let's see if we get that. It doesn't have an indoor mode, so some things that here you go. So it shows distance, pace, and then the split time. Then I had altitude, how many steps, what the average pace is, speed and pitch. So it does have a cadence sensor on here too, so this will show you cadence. So for $40, it's just not bad to have a cadence sensor for $40 plus a GPS. And then it has latitude and longitude. I was having it show the GPS coordinates and then the time. And so actually this isn't bad for $40. You know, you got a cadence sensor, it shows you distance and your pace. Now I kind of wondering about whether it's accurate on the road. I got to do a test on the road to see if it gets the exact distance. I'm guessing it's probably better on the road, so probably with all the switchbacks you have on trails, this thing is not taking enough data points. That's how they get their quote-unquote battery life to be much longer, but they're kind of skimping. They're not really giving you accurate GPS. Now in full GPS mode, this watch would probably only get 5 or 6 hours battery life, but they're saying you get 24 hours, so they're probably only taking one data point a minute or something like that, and that's not acceptable really. But you know, if you're going on the road, you're not going along with switchbacks and only making turns very infrequently, then this watch will probably meet your needs. And for $40, wow, that's great. So there you go. Here is just taking a look at the history of a workout, and it actually has pretty good data, you know, when you look through the history. And I did double check the distance on that trail run. That was giving the wrong distance from this watch, and it's a 14-mile trail run. It gave me 13.14 miles, so that's pretty far off. So instead of 14 miles, I got 13.14, and if you take 10% of 14 miles, you get 1.4 miles. So it's not quite 10% off, but you know, if you kind of round it, it's pretty close to 10% off. But anyway, you can actually figure out the exact percentage that it's off if you are good at math or have a calculator handy or are a human calculator. Anyway, so the nice thing about GPS watches is that you can look through and get your mile splits. You can set the watch up to give you your mile split time and your pace for that particular mile. And of course it's an average pace. If you want to look at all the individual part of the mile, you've got to upload the data and then put it on a little graph. Take a look at it there. Now when you go through the history setting here, this is not a heart rate watch in terms of it putting it on the lap data, but I think if you upload the data, you'll see your heart rate data there as well. Now I haven't tried uploading the data yet, so I don't have that information, but it did record it because I never turned the heart rate off, which you can do that. It'll probably save some battery, and maybe, who knows, maybe it might be more accurate. And I haven't tried the trail run without the heart rate monitor on because I thought that, you know, wouldn't make a difference, but maybe it will. So if you have this watch and you want to see if it is accurate, go on a known trail with some elevation gain, some nice big hills, climbing up a mountain, and turn the heart rate monitor off and do one run, and have the heart rate monitor on, do another run, compare your distances. If you get the same distance, then I think the heart rate monitor doesn't make any difference in terms of accuracy. If you get different distances, then maybe try it a few more times to see if the heart rate monitor is what's interfering with the accuracy. That could be that, when it has to collect the heart rate data, that's taking up time from the processor, so it isn't able to give you some accurate data for the GPS. So in other words, the processor is busy, so it has to ignore some GPS data. And that's always possible too. But I think what's more likely is they probably simply made it ignore a lot of GPS data in order to get longer battery life, so the processor's kind of sleeping for a while. And that makes a lot more sense. Anyway, there's the watch. So here we got the Epson RunSense SF-810 user manual, and this is from online, and I downloaded the PDF document. So this was kind of useful when I first got it, and trying to figure out how to get it to display what I want. And I did try to connect it to Bluetooth, and I wasn't able to, so you have to download their software. It won't connect, which is very disappointing. See if I can show you Bluetooth mode. So we hold this button here. Here we go. And it's supposed to be trying to connect to your computer. The only problem is I wasn't able to get it to connect. And I bought this Bluetooth dongle just so that I could connect to this watch and download the data. So all I want to do is I want to take a look at the data. I don't want to use any manufacturer's software from Epson to have to download the data. I want to just connect right to the watch and download the data. Simple. I don't know why they make you use their stupid software. So this is from their quick start for uploading your data. So you got to use their software, create an account, and then you're able to upload some data. Or if you have your mobile phone, you got to download their app, and then you can connect with Bluetooth. You just try to connect your computer with Bluetooth and just get the data without using their app or their software, you get nothing. So this watch is going back. I probably could, use the app on the phone, get my data, but I'm going to be sending the watch back anyway, but that's another reason to send it back. So here we're looking at the Epson Run Connect software from Google Play. And what on earth does it need my Wi-Fi connection? Why on earth does it need my call information? That's pretty nonsense. So I don't like using software. I just want to get the data directly. It looks like it doesn't even let you get the data directly. You have to upload the data to their web application to see your data. I just want to see the data myself. It's really pretty pathetic. Anyway, some people complained that they weren't able to connect to their device even using the Epson Run Connect app. So it's possible it doesn't even work. Okay, now they've got this big license agreement that in order to use their app, you have to agree to all the stuff that they've written in there. And if you decline, then of course you can't use the app. It's not going to run. So that's just total nonsense. Okay, now in order to sign up for this RunSense app to work, you got to register an account. Look at this. They want your date of birth. They want your country of residence. Now they don't need that information. It's total nonsense. So here we got the Run Connect, which is the PC app, not the phone app, but the PC app. And look at this. You got to use these Windows software, or if you have some of the latest Mac softwares, then you can use Run Connect. But anything else, you're just out of luck. You can't even get the data from the watch. Basically, the watch is useless then to look at any data. So I don't know what this means, but it says Run Connect has been reborn. I guess Run Connect has become a born-again Christian and accepted Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior. So you got to install another app. This is really ridiculous. Okay, so we have connected to the watch. So I did pair with Bluetooth from the phone. Now it's trying to upload the data. Now this is ridiculous. You got to use your phone connected to their web app to upload the data. So you can't just get the data. So it's just more reasons to send this watch back. And then after it uploads it, it automatically will display the data. So I have to use their web app and display the data. What I wanted to do is just upload all the data and then look at the data itself. I don't want to use their silly web apps, graphs the data. I want to decide what app I want to use to graph the data. So this is just terrible. So anyway, here it shows you some data items. You're going to upload them one by one. It's really slow, depending on what kind of phone you have. This phone is a 3G phone, so it's really slow. And then it goes to their web app, and then I got to try to backspace it, or return back to here to upload the next data item. So this is a real pain. What it really should have, they did the software correctly. These little boxes, you just check what things you want to upload, and you upload them all at the same time. And then if you want to display it, then you can go to their software app and display whatever one you want. It shouldn't automatically send you there, because then you have to wait for it to load and then backtrack out of it. It's a real pain. So this is not what I like. And of course I just want to get the damn data. So here I went on a run and comparing these watches. Here we got the Epson 510, and it says 8.173 miles. And the Epson 810 says 8.162 miles. Funny thing is that the Garmin, which I found to be accurate, says 8.59 miles. It's the same run. All the watches were used at the same time. So the Epsons gave the same results, so they're calculating the distance the same way. And it seems to be pretty far off. Garmin, 8.59 miles. And this was a flat city trail. So, fairly disappointing, because I really like the price of these watches and the features, basically. This one doesn't show you altitude gain on the display, so you have to upload the data. And it's kind of a real hassle to upload the data, and you don't get to see the actual data file. You have to upload it to their website, and then from their website to any other website. So it's very inconvenient. I don't know why they did it that way. Same thing with this watch. And you can't just connect to it and get the data. Whereas this Garmin, it's a bit of a pain too, but I have been able to get data from this and see the actual data file. So anyway, very disappointing. So I'm trying out another GPS watch, and I was right away able to connect to it with my computer, download the data, convert the file, and there's my little trail run there. It started here, and up and up and up and up there, and then I stopped the track, created a new track, and just went back. But that's what the other watch should have been able to let me do, but it didn't. So it looks like I might be happy with this other watch. So I'll have to make another little video log about the new watch. Actually, I got a refurbished one because it's cheaper. And I had this on the zoom in so I could actually see it better, but there's the whole trail run. So it starts kind of over here in the city where there's a trailhead, and then I go up, up, and up, and it's basically all up climbing, and it's all downhill back there. So that's a trail run of known length, and it looks like this watch needed to calibrate a little bit. It was off on the way up, but then on the way down it was basically right on, so that's pretty good.